Hello YouTube, it's me, Brittany, and today I want to talk to you guys about dealing with setbacks during your transition. But before I want to do that, I want to say thanks to every single one of you who've already subscribed. I love all of you. Thanks so much for being here. If this is your first time watching, hit that subscribe button so you can see all the videos that I do. I do a very interactive channel. Much like this, I talk about trans issues, and I encourage you to ask questions or comment anything on any of my videos and let me know how you feel, as well as if you're interested in finding out more information. But you can't do that unless you hit subscribe. So today's topic kind of wanted to be something more personal feeling to me, as I'm actually dealing with a transitional setback in my own way, and I kind of wanted to express to you guys how I handled that situation. So I know that I did not handle these nearly as well during the first few years of transitioning, and by setbacks I mean like as far as transitional setbacks, it can be anything from having a hard time getting hormones, or surgery, which is what my setback is right now, as well as some, financial struggles, of which are some of my setbacks right now. But, loss of job, homelessness, all of these things are things that I have had to deal with and that I'm dealing with on a regular basis sometimes. And I just wanted to give you guys kind of like a groundwork of how I handle that situation, and maybe it can help you guys in the future, because I do deal with my own mental health issues. I have severe depression issues. I deal with suicide. A lot of the reasons I have my tattoos on my arms is because I used to be a really bad cutter, and so I decided if I put art there, then I will not cut anymore. And so it's worked over the last 4 years since I put the first tattoo on my wrist. And that was one thing that I did for myself as a way to try to get myself to be healthier, because it's not healthy to cut. But I mean, I'm not saying if you're doing it that you're bad. I'm just saying that that you can be better. And I understand, like, from where I came from, I know why I was cutting. I understood, like, it wasn't for me trying to be suicidal every time. It was just I needed to feel something, and that's a lot of what it was for me in that situation. So but my first rule that I always like to keep for myself, and yes, I've picked this up from my therapist over years, and I'm going to share it with you guys, but it's okay to cry. So when things just don't seem to go your way, you want to get really frustrated and get angry, but and those are all valid emotions. But what a lot of us do is we hold in that sadness, that emotion, because we have been, especially male to female trans women like myself, have been instilled in so long that crying was bad for us. So when we want to cry, we want to go somewhere private, and I do that. I tend to go somewhere private, but however, I do let myself cry, because that sadness, those setbacks, that's real. And if you don't let yourself feel that emotion, you just hold it inside, and it gets worse and worse and worse, and it gets harder to get through it. So I mean, I'd say it is okay to cry. Like, if you have to sit down in your room into a pillow, I mean, Megan right here, she has constantly, I've had to get mascara and eyeliner out of her fur, because I just hold her when I cry a lot of times. And so, like, if you have an animal, those will really help. But that long cry, it may hurt while you're doing it. Your brain may be telling you some horrible things, but it's best to get all of that stuff out, because when you hold it in, it makes it worse and makes it harder for you to get through and get past that, because all these setbacks are just that. They're setbacks. They're not the end of your transition. They're not the end of your life. Like, it may be a setback. It may take a while to get you back on track, but it's not going to end your life. However, like, with that being said, I'm going to leave the National Suicide Hotline number down here below me, because if you're having issues and you need someone to talk to, it's okay to not be okay. So please call someone. Like, message me on YouTube. Find me on Facebook. You can message me there as well, because I've been there and I feel it. I know what that's like. But trying to kill yourself and trying to end your life, that's the worst option you have for yourself. And this is just a setback. It's not the end of everything. Yes, it may feel like it's the end of everything right now, but once you've cried, once you've expressed those feelings and emotions, and you've fought through that hard initial aspect of the setback, then you can develop a plan of attack. And that's my next tip, is to develop a plan of attack and how you can get past what just happened to you or whatever just caused your setback. For me specifically, if you guys have been paying attention to my channel, you know that I've had issues with the car lately. Well, about a week ago, it just went kaput. I don't even have the car fully legally registered in my name yet, but I can't even use it anymore. And it's cost me almost all of my savings that I had been saving up for surgery, as well as for things going on, here in the next, couple of months. I have a vacation coming up in September. All of my savings has been drained because of this car. And I'm not gonna lie, like, the reason this video is coming on Monday and not Sunday is because I was really pushing through that first step of dealing with the setback a lot last week. I was really depressed. I didn't sit alone. I stayed with my boyfriend last week, and it allowed me to kind of not worry about the things going on outside my life. But then at one point I just cried it out, and like, now it's 2-3 days after my cry session, and I have worked out a plan on how to try to get back to where I was. So I don't have a car anymore, but I lived without a car for 2 years here, so I can ride the bus, and now I have a bike. So like, there are bonuses. I'm looking at positive things. So like, you have to figure out that it's a setback. And like, yes, I for me, losing my car is a setback, and it may be a 1 to another 2-year setback. I'm hoping not. Like, my goal is to hopefully have a car by January, February, but still, I have to embrace the fact that what was going good for me has now fallen apart, and I can't let it make me fall apart, even though it feels like it's gonna let me fall apart. But I've pushed through. Now I'm looking to the future, and that's really what this whole second step of developing a plan of attack is for. The past is over. I cannot take back all the money that I put into the car. I cannot take back that this kid swindled me out of the car. Like, none of that stuff is, I can't take it back. I can't do anything about what has happened. However, I can do things about the future. So like, that's the whole aspect. It's frustrating, I know, especially when you're dealing with hormonal issues, in the transition of, controlling all of those things. But it's not, sometimes you don't have to control. Sometimes let those emotions go. As long as they're not hurtful to you, they are not going to be bad to release, because it's going to be a release that's going to help you get to the future. And honestly, the best way to deal with transitional setbacks is to think about how to get back to where you were. So for me, like I said, I have a goal to hopefully purchase a car by January or February, but I'm starting from scratch. I have maybe $150 in my savings left for a new car. So like, I have to go back and start from scratch, but I know that I can do it because I've done it before. And even if I haven't done it before, before I bought this car, I hadn't done it ever before. So like, it took me years to get there. So like, don't be discouraged. Like, it's just a setback. So like, I hope this video is really helpful to you. I hope that maybe some of the things that I do for myself, you can do for yourself. If any of my followers who follow on the regular, if you're just somebody just watching this video, if you have tips that you do, I also exercise on the regular. So if you have any other tips that you guys do that help you deal with transitional setbacks, and not think about it's the end of everything. Like, it's just a setback. Like, we can always get over this mountain. So mountains were meant to be climbed, and we can always climb through them. So that's a crazy stupid metaphor, sorry. Anyways, if this video was helpful, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at BrittanyRose2. Thanks guys for watching. I hope this video helped you guys so much. I love you so much. Have a great day, guys.